if anybody, I'll upload it to my YouTube channel afterwards, and if anybody wants, I'll send the link out later or tomorrow. Okay. So does anybody have anything they'd like to offer about this thought of a loving kindness meditation for yourself and how you might approach this? Martha, thank you.
Well, I was there, and I actually don't remember this. I just remember the effect of it. I don't remember what I said either. So
Isn't that funny?
it strikes me now as you talk about it so clearly. It's like a mindfulness statement.
Right, it is.
May I be safe. May you be safe. You know, those things that I learned from mindfulness teachers.
Right,
And that to me keeps it simple and, you know, makes it easier in a way, so it's not have to conjuring up some special words or something. Or
right.
may I be, but I like what you said, may I respect my intelligence or respect, you know, to see it through somebody else's eyes. And I think that's what mindfulness is. May you be safe, you say, may you be healthy, and then you say, may I be. So I really like how you presented it. It's quite helpful. Thank you.
Okay, I really want you to do yourself first.
Yes. Yes, I hear
Okay.
you.
And really, again, and I just remembered now when you were talking about it, I remembered what it was that I said. Um, and I know it was, I think I can explain it sort of without making it sound too egotistical. Everybody was telling me what a great job I was doing, and I have trouble accepting that sometimes. So I think what I phrased for myself was, may I know my worth, or something like that.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and it made a huge difference, you know?
Good. I'm so glad.
Yeah, yeah.
You did
Thanks,
a great
Martha.
job.
Thank you for triggering that memory. I should
Sure.
write it down again. Karen.
Oh, I just remember one of my mentors' daughters. She was a teenager, and she was just everybody that met her just thought this teenager was just so pure. And so when she was asked what she does, and she says, "I forgive myself every day."
Ah, wow.
I was like, "Wow," and she's just like a walking angel.
Huh.
So I don't know how to phrase that, but anyways, there's that
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
I don't either. I don't either. Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Karen. Artie, did you want to say something?
Yes, I just wanted to reflect back on while I was listening to you explaining that. You know how you mentioned about us appreciating ourselves or something like that along the line, and I was like, huh, I think I do. I think I already do respect myself, like, and stuff like that. But when the moment you mentioned I respect my intelligence, it really did something outstanding. It's I would say, like you mentioned that we do not want to be sounding egoistic, but also when other people try and compliment us for the good job that we do or the good things that we do, we brush it off because we don't, sometimes we just don't know how to accept um praises. But when you said and when you mentioned that I respect my intelligence, it made me go back and reflect on the fact that I think we do not appreciate ourselves enough at times. And you said
Exactly.
we may know our worth. I think that just it just brings our psychological or subconscious mind to, you know, for us to respect ourselves the way other people respect us. Because I think sometimes we do not respect ourselves as much as others may, because we do not see what others see in us. So that was something quite new, and I think that's something that could work. I mean, I think you were asking what we could do or what works for us or what could work for us, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
I
that.
was really, yeah. No, and I was trying to remember, I've been trying to remember since the Congress what it was that stirred me so much that made me realize that was what how I could do that and how helpful it was. And when I went back and reread the notes that Leonie sent, which I will send to all of you, on the loving kindness meditations for ourselves. When it talks about what other people think of us, that really hit me that, oh, that was why, that was how I came up with what I needed to convince myself of. And you're right, sometimes it's really hard to accept a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Karen,
agree.
thanks already.
One of the reasons that we don't value ourselves, because what we think that we do, it's so easy for us. Anybody can do it, but it's our gift. And we don't realize that it's valuable because other people cannot do what we do. So we don't value it because it's so easy. It's like, who would pay me for do this? This is too easy, right? So yeah, that's one of the things. But when people acknowledge you, then you have the realization that, oh, it's not so easy for other people.
Yeah, that's the acknowledgement that I think most of us have trouble with. So yeah, thanks, Karen. Sue?
To you back what Karen just said, one of the things that came to mind while you were talking about some options is that I need to have faith in myself,
Yeah,
because
okay.
you never know, I'm good enough, that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
I think that's important for me to remember anyway.
yeah. Anybody else? Sharon, do you remember this from the Congress? You're on mute.
I remembered how I felt about the presentation more than I remembered what the presentation
Yeah, yeah,
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it made a big impression on me.
yeah. I think it made a big impression on all of us. And it was interesting because it was the last day. And it was the first time we really delved deeply into compassion for ourselves. The rest of the Congress had been very fascinating, listening to all the conversation about compassion and science and how they were related, and all the hearing about all the wonderful things that were happening around the world. But this was really it was a long presentation, and they just so artfully combined the meditations along with humor, um, and a little skit, and then the assessments, the whole thing. It just worked out. They just did a brilliant job of it. Really, really well done. Artie, did you want to say something else?
Yes, Sue, I'm sorry, but I just had a question to Karen. She mentioned, about the valuables and how we think that things are easy, but it's not for other people. I think I second that. But how do we know that it's not easy for others? Like, how do we, because different people have different capabilities, and just we do know that. But how do you perceive it as a statement or a phrase and an understanding?
Well, Karen's got her mouth full of food, so she can't answer you. So I'll start while she's chewing.
Well, okay.
Okay,
Well,
sorry.
sorry.
Go ahead,
Sorry,
Karen.
Sue.
Yeah.
How we know what is through the acknowledgement of other people. When people go, wow, right? The wows
Mhm.
that you get, or, holy crap, how could you do that? And you do it so fast and so easily, right?
Yeah.
It's true that. I'm not sure if that is answering your question, but sorry to interrupt you, Sue.
No, you didn't interrupt me. I was just trying to give you a minute to finish what you were eating. I think, like, if somebody says something to me about how I keep track of everything and make sure that everybody knows what's going on all the time, that I think, well, everybody can do that, but not everybody can do that. And I know that now, that most people can't do that. Karen teaches Tai Chi. Karen does this. Karen does that. So when somebody says to her, wow, that was a great little thing you had on Facebook today about the oh, now I can't think of what the last one was.
Mhm.
But I read these things and I think, wow, I didn't know any of that. And that really helps me realign myself with something. So
Mhm.
I didn't know that. So I respect Karen for that. So that was somebody would say something like that to her. um, and with Diane, I would, I respect her for her determination and her courage in moving forward with who she wants to be. Right, Diane? And she doesn't even realize it half the time that how much courage it has taken her to do some of the things she's done in the last couple of years.
Mm.
Those kinds of things.
So what does Karen actually do when she knows that, okay, when she started to realize that, okay, not a lot of people have these assets and capabilities, the ones that she has, like teaching Tai Chi. What does she do
Okay.
with her values?
Um, when I find out that somebody really values whatever it is, and this sounds really tacky, but how can I monetize this? Because
Yeah.
money is the currency of this world. If you want to change the world, you need money in this reality. So
Yep.
we have with this thing about money, like, oh, we just want to help people. But again, if you want to help people, you need money.
You've got to have, yep.
I
So,
don't think that's tacky at all.
oh, thank you, Sue. I feel awful
Makes
saying
sense.
that, but
That is
Yeah.
reality.
That
Thank
is
you.
reality. Yeah.
So, but like okay, so in terms of, sorry if I'm prolonging this a little, but when you meet new people and at the back of the mind, you know that they may not have as much capabilities as you. We do not know if they could be more, they could have more capabilities than you or less. So, but how do you utilize that in your approach towards them?
Well,
How do
you
you
al-
apply that
great
as
question.
an approach?
You always have to ask them
Thank
for
you.
permission, right? You have to be the invitation, right? So
All right.
I like, I see that you're struggling with this, or would you like some, help
Help.
with this, or would you like some
Oh,
more information so you can, you know,
I see.
make different choices or have more choices. Yeah, but I don't take my own advice because I often just want to give them that information. And so many times it's been thrown back in my face with daggers attached. Okay. And that's like, oh yeah,
Right.
I forgot to ask permission. Can I offer something to you? Or, so
Okay.
thank you.
All right. I guess
Teresa,
that's what I wanted to know. Thank you so much.
Teresa's got something to say. I can tell.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that it's more when we're presented with that outside information about our own attributes, that an initial reaction of us to reject that, to say, oh, anybody else can do this.
Right.
So in thinking about that, I thought aspiration may be that, may I remain open to acknowledging my higher nature.
Yeah. Nice.
You know what I mean? It's about me taking that second. I might always in this life, because of my history, reject someone's compliment or someone's, it may be my initial response, but if I can take that moment to actually acknowledge what the person is saying, then I remain true to myself, my own nature, and I can continue to provide that to other people as well. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense, Teresa.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sue.
Okay. Anybody else? Louisa.
I recently had a sleep study because my doctor insisted I didn't want to go at my age. Give me a break. Anyway, but the tech that was there, he was from one of the Russian nations, and he insisted that therapeutic touch cannot be taught. It is a gift, and because in his country that's what they do. But it was interesting as I let him talk because I don't want to make anybody believe that TT works. He had seen a doctor do something like therapeutic touch
Uh-huh.
and do surgery because he didn't have the equipment to do the surgery. It was just to incise a lesion. And the man never moved. The man never cried. And
No
then
anesthesia. Yeah. Yeah.
no anesthesia, right? And then the man just went right to sleep. So when he continued talking, and I said to him, well, our aim is to help or heal the person. It isn't to cure or anything like that. He was very interested. And then I gave him all the information for and a telephone just in case he had more questions. But it's really interesting um, that there this is interest, but it's just the way you put it. And I think that because of the way I was calm, even though I was not calm going to that test with those 500 things put on me, it was also his nature that he was very calm. And so
Great.
I think that him being in my presence and me talking about it and
Yeah.
it can be done, I think
Yeah.
it will bring him to therapeutic touch.
And you got your sleep study done calmly.
And he was wonderful, I have to say. Very scary for me, let
Technician.
me tell you. The technician was wonderful. But um, it's really interesting. I never really thought about it. Like when Karen said about, oh, you can do this and you can do that. I used to have 4 jobs. And when I went to Pumpkin Hollow and told everybody I had 4 jobs, I remember Doreen saying, what is she saying? She has 4 jobs? What is this? But it was so cute. And I never thought about it because I was just doing it.
Yeah.
So, we multitask on many different levels, but we do it with ease and we're centered and with peace. And I like the presentation that was done on self care, compassion, really, because living in New York, I have to tell you, I have to really be centered and do my meditations because the noise here is incredible. And Martha can attest to that.
Yeah.
But
She's nodding her head, shaking her head.
just listening to them, when I came back, I said to myself, I'm going to be at peace no matter what happens here. I'm going, and may I be at peace, may I be healed, may I be one, with the nature. That really has helped me, I have to tell you. I used to say that to all of my healing partners. May you be at peace, may you be healed, may you be one with your energy. But I think that we forget sometimes that we had to take care of ourselves.
Exactly.
I'm glad
Exactly.
everybody's sharing about what they're doing. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Lisa.
Welcome.
Mm.
Linda.
Sorry, I just can't find the little hand you have to pop up.
It's
I
okay.
was listening to everybody and I remembered something that happened a few years before I retired. And I always got a lot of compliments at work and everybody was very grateful and thankful. And one of my evals that I went in for, the supervisor had written down, Linda does not give herself enough credit.
Mm.
And I was so taken back on that. I was almost insulted. I didn't know how to think about it, But after a while, it started to sink in that I was so busy dealing with everybody else and I just did it because it was easy. And I mean, to me, it was easy. Everything that I did and handled and managed so much. But it really made me think. And I think a lot of this work we do is um, self-awareness too. We
Yeah.
have to know who we are and where we're coming from and how we feel about certain things and how well we do. And I do love the I ams. I believe it was Wayne Dyer
Hmm.
used to bring that up. And, you'd say to yourself, I am strong, I am healthy. I mean, but you do have to get your head wrapped around it too. It's something that you kind of plug in there to maybe
Again,
help
those
yourself.
are more, Wayne Dyer's are more affirmations where it's I
Yeah.
am
Right,
rather
right,
than
right.
may I be.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Yep, yep.
for me personally, I'm more comfortable with may I be. It's something I aspire to. It's
Yeah, okay. That's good.
then I don't
Yeah.
have to then I don't I think I just figured it out. I don't criticize myself because I haven't gotten there yet.
Right. Okay, that
That's
makes
the
sense. Yep.
difference. That's the difference.
Aspire. Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why it makes
Yep.
more sense for me.
Okay, very good.
Okay. Thanks, Linda. Anybody else before we take a quick break and then we're going to do a meditation and then I'm going to move you into breakout rooms. I know Linda's leaving at 7:45, so she won't be going into a breakout room. Karen's leaving because she won't be going in a breakout room. Tuvan, you have to leave too, right?
I
Yes.
have to leave.
Okay.
No, I
Oh,
can go to the
Shelley?
breakout. I can go to the breakout room. I just won't be able to come back, like for
Oh,
the
okay.
debriefing.
Okay. Shelley, you're leaving?
I'll leave at after the meditation.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? And is there anybody who only wants to receive? Tracy, you just want to receive tonight, right? She thinks, but she may change her mind after she receives. But I'll put you in a group of 3. Anybody else? Okay. So let's take 3 minutes. It's 23 after the hour. So if you could come back at like 26 after the hour, and we'll do the meditation and move into breakout rooms. Thank you. And pause the recording. So this is the meditation that we're going to do now is just a simple, we're going to spend some time in the quiet, but I'm also going to ask you to have a pencil and paper handy so that you can write down 2 to 3 to 5 little phrases that you would like to use for your own self compassion, loving kindness meditation, some aspirations, things that you would like to accept about yourself. But first, I'd like you to just get yourselves comfortable in whatever position works for you. If you want to lie down, you can do that. If you're sitting up, that's fine. If your feet are on the floor, that's fine. If your feet are underneath you, that's fine. Whatever works, whatever feels right. If you'd like to close your eyes, you may do that, or just lower your gaze to the floor or the ground. And if they gently close during this time, that's okay too. Just take a minute to let go of all the stresses of the day and all the thinking that we've just been doing. This is a moment, a few moments for feeling, for reflecting, for opening to your own heart. And if it feels right and you want to put your hand on your heart, you may do that. Or if someplace else on your body is soothing, your throat, your solar plexus, just ask yourself for this moment, what do I need? Not what I want, what do I need? Those needs might include the need to be accepted, to be validated, to be seen and heard, to be protected and safe, to be loved. To be respected. Some of the ways to phrase that in a loving kindness meditation might be, may I be kind to myself. May I know that I belong. May I be peaceful. Now, in this quiet space, reflect on some phrases that you would want others to say about you, and then reframe them to say them for yourself. Such as hearing someone say, "You're such a good person," and reframing it to, "May I know my own goodness." Just take a few minutes in the quiet and let words come in to your consciousness. And as they do, hold on to them so that you can remember a couple of phrases when we come back. See what flows for you. I'll leave you in the quiet for a little bit and call you back and give you time to jot some notes down. But for now, listen to the quiet. holding these words and these phrases in your being. Gently begin to bring yourself back. Become aware of your physical body. You might want to wiggle your fingers and your toes, clear your throat, move around a bit. Become aware of your surroundings. And take a minute to jot down a few phrases that you can use in a loving kindness meditation for yourself. Doesn't have to be 5 phrases. It can be 1. Whatever works. And what I'd like you to do in the breakout rooms tonight is, as you're receiving therapeutic touch, say these phrases to yourself and see how it affects therapeutic touch session, both as practitioner and as healing partner. So as practitioner, pay attention to your partner's field and how it might shift as she thinks these phrases that she's created for herself. So if everybody is ready, I'm going to send you into the breakout rooms and you'll be there for 40 minutes. And then we'll have some time when you come back to have some more conversation. So those of you who are not going to breakout rooms, you won't go. You'll be here with me and you can leave when you're ready to. I'm going to pause the recording again. Welcome back, everybody. Some of you look like you got moved out of the breakout rooms in the middle of a sentence. Am I right?
I don't know.
Well, you're all back now, so that's good.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, did the loving kindness, mindfulness phrases that you thought up for yourself, did you use them in the breakout room during the TT sessions? Did they have an effect? What kind of an effect did they have, and why do you think that was? Tuvan, thank you, thank you. I will see you soon. Thank you for being here. Diane, you're nodding yes. Tracy was nodding yes. Several of you were. Who wants to talk first?
Oh, I will.
Okay.
That was
Okay. I have to say that was totally phenomenal.
Good, good.
So my statement, I had 3 different statements, but the first one was, may I understand myself.
Ah.
And what I saw was myself like going all over, like I'm in too many things, doing too much stuff, like just all over. And but I had to find a root. So what was the root cause? So then I went down into the spiral, into this root, and I was in a classroom. And when my when I was younger in junior school and then in high school, if I came home with like an 80%, my mom would always say, "Oh, I thought you'd get 100." And so that was still in there. So it's like
Oh yeah, that never goes away.
No, but I think now it has. Sue helped me with that one.
Sweet.
And so what
Not my fault.
happened, my next one was, may I have joy, may I have peace. And so what happened was I saw myself trying to fit a round peg into a square hole. Like I just kept, and it's like, I can't find peace or joy by doing this. Some things that I'm doing, I should not be doing. And I hugged my mom and I said to her, because she's passed, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm not in school. I have to do this for myself, not for you. And I felt it release. And that was
Wow.
like the coolest thing ever. And I thank Sue Zolnick very much for that.
And I didn't know anything about what was going on, just that, she had a few issues, but that was it.
Oh,
Did
it's
you notice how did her field present
And
itself to
Karen
you?
may have. Karen's field for me, how it presented to me, I saw a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what else. She was just like, had a lot of stuff on her shoulders, like a lot of things going on. That, and so and perhaps the mother situation was one of those pieces that were holding her shoulders down. And I know you're keeping her busy too. So,
No, not me.
but the other thing that I noticed was that there was
Mm.
like some tightness in her right hip. And I translated that, that there's energy that she's done with, but doesn't want to let it go yet. So,
Whoops. Huh. Sorry, something's going on here. I think I figured it out. Sorry, Sue.
no, that's fine. I was kind of done with that, but and Karen had layers of things that she saw with me, and you might have to explain what all of them were. But bottom line, with everything that she was doing, we got to a place that with compassion was needed. And I went also to my mother, who
Huh.
was a mother in the 40s. I mean, she was a mother in the 50s, but she had a job she loved. But when this one came along, that all had to stop because now I have a child that can no longer work. And I think I always kind of resented that. And I think she kind of resented me. So there was compassion needed for us to resolve
Mm.
some of the issues. But so
Interesting
was
that
the
you
big
both
one.
had those kinds of
Mhm.
issues. Interesting.
Which of course is why you paired us up, right?
Yeah, obviously. I was just thinking that. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank
So
you.
on that note, I hate to leave, but I've got to get moving on. So Karen,
Okay.
or Diane, thank you very much.
You're
Thanks,
most
Sue.
welcome.
See you.
Thank you.
Now if I can figure out how to get out of here. There we go. Thank you. See you guys next month.
Okay. Take care. Sharon, you've got your hand up. Take yourself off mute, Sharon.
I should just leave myself, but then I'd laugh. And
Right.
anyway, I did during my when Betty was working with me, I was thinking in terms of I am peace, I am kind. I be. I'm sorry, I was
Okay.
actually saying may I be.
Okay.
May I be peaceful, may I be kind, may I, and each thing of the three that I used were really soothing, and as she was working with me, I could feel the change within me, and it was really wonderful. And when I was working with her, I was thinking about may I be peaceful, may I be centered,
Oh,
may I be helpful. And she said that she was more relaxed and comfortable, but I'll let her talk.
okay. All right, thank you. That's good. That I did not make that suggestion that you have aspirations or loving kindness meditation phrases for your partner, but you did. That's really good. Betty?
I had the pleasure of working with Sharon, and I thought her touch was very gentle and very lovely, and it just allowed me to absorb the energy and relax, just let go, you know. And
Good.
she was very open to me working with her, and she was very not compliant, but inviting, allowing me to come into her space and into her body. And it was lovely. And it was lovely working with Sharon. And it was just a peaceful, lovely way to spend this time.
Good, good. Thank you, Betty. Anybody else want to share how the aspirations, how the loving kindness meditation for self worked or didn't? Tracy?
I found it fascinating because I don't know if it's because saying the affirmations gave me something to focus on as the healing partner. In the past, I have been very guarded because I'm sensitive and I've been overwhelmed by too much TT in the past. So today was the first day that I didn't say that I need gentle.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know why, but I didn't even start panicking. Oh no, I forgot to. It was, may I be kind, may I be peaceful. And then I got a new aspiration come in. May I be, and I wrote it down. Where is it? May I love and appreciate myself.
Ah, perfect.
But
Perfect.
it just came in and okay, I
Yeah.
guess that's one I need to add. So
Great.
it was a completely different experience for me, being able to fully embrace the experience and not feel, that worrying about that it was going to be too much. So thank you,
Wonderful.
Teresa. It was
Wonderful.
beautiful. Yeah.
Excellent. Teresa?
So, Tracy and I agree. Tracy at the beginning said that she was able to receive today, but not able to send. And I was perfectly fine with that because it's kind of, I had offered that earlier in the meeting to someone else. And I thought, okay, so that's what's supposed to happen today. There's no mistake.
Apparently.
No mistake around that. And when I read fields and I do the realignment in the energy field, I tend to be very, very energetic. And I'm aware of that for myself. I'm really moving that energy to clear, right? And immediately I started to do that. And immediately the thought came, I needed to stop and I needed to be gentle and I needed to work on lightness of being with this healing partner. So whatever Tracy was sending about feeling overwhelmed or whatever, I really was able to pick up on that pretty quickly, which is very different for me. I have not experienced that before. Getting that message through to harness in my own energy, the energy that I bring to the experience as the healing part, healing person, to reduce that. I had never got that before. So it was very interesting. And that Tracy actually was feeling that way, which was great.
And the fact that this is the first time she hasn't said it.
No.
So
you didn't tell me anything about that at the beginning.
Great.
Yeah, it was really, really for me very, very good. So for me, my aspirations were, may I be accepting of my gifts, and may I be accepting of my own body's healing process. Mine, that was something for my affirmation. But yeah, it was a great experience for me. I loved it, and I was glad that Tracy, was able to receive. So that's good.
I'm thrilled, and so is Diane. We're both like, yay! Excellent. Thanks, Diane. Thanks, Teresa. Thanks, Tracy. Martha?
Yes, I had the pleasure of working with Artie. And I worked on her first, And I told her that I see colors now that I've been doing it on Zoom for 5 years. And I saw so many different colors. She was light, of course, it's not just color, it's light that's moving. Um, and she said she was tired, and I saw a lot of yellow, which I don't usually see, but I ended up with green. I'm surrounded by green here. Looks like Ireland around here, but green to me was a combination of the blue and yellow. It just kept moving. At the end, I saw her stand up and do a pirouette, and she can speak more about that, but that was very, very interesting. She had energy at the end. She had energy. Um,
And let me bring you back to the aspirations,
yes,
for
we
yourself.
did. Yes, when she did me, I did the aspirations
Okay.
throughout the treatment
Oh,
for the
good.
first time in my life. And it helped me to be centered and focused and not be distracted, which is easy for me, very easy for me.
Ah,
So for me, it was like a game changer. And she
good.
said, well, did you feel anything? I said, I felt centered and at peace and a release, you could say. So it was very helpful to say, I think I had 4 or 5 of them. And it was wonderful.
Good.
Thank you, Archie.
That's a great tool. Good.
Yes, it is a good tool.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to use it. I'm going to
Yeah,
continue
I'm
to
going to use it too. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
self-compassion. Thank
Yeah.
you, Archie.
No worries, Martha. Thank you for working on me.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, dear.
if I can share, when Martha did it and she told me about she told me that she pulled energies right in the moment she started working on me. I felt headaches and all kinds of aches being pulled out of my head, which was quite interesting because she had not done that initially, but that's what I felt. But as for me, when I did not do the reciting of aspirations during the session, because I guess I was really tired when she was working on me because of the pain. So I was a little distracted. But while I was saying that during the meditation session, I guess it can be a boost of motivation or confidence
Yeah.
because it also helps you to accept yourself more
Yes.
and accept who you really are, and without feeling overconfident or without boasting who you are
Yeah.
or that you're above others or anything else that other people may feel or think about you. So I think that's something really new and motivational.
Yeah.
So truly keep that as part of a practice. So thank you to you. Thanks to you, Sue.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks to Leonie and Madonna too, and everybody else that's been doing this.
Yeah. That was so much fun with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Louisa?
Well, my partner had to leave,
Yes.
Tuvan.
Yes.
We spent most of the session me working on her because I really felt she needed it. She did do TT on me as well.
Okay.
What came up for both of us is being safe and being at peace. And when I worked on her field, I just felt like I needed to talk to her cells. I do that ever since I used to work with Parkinson's patients. Um, I just send the cells lots of love, and I felt hers needed because when I went in, it was like this, that, so many places that needed a little bit of energy or harmony, and it worked for her because she looked different at the end of the
Yeah.
session. Her face was not as tight as it was, and she told me that she felt much better, and we both use, um, may I be at peace, may I be healed, and it worked for the two of us. So we're like in synchrony. We've worked before,
That's great.
which I really, really liked.
Yeah.
And I didn't want her to treat me for too long, even though, because she said she hadn't practiced in a long time, but I felt she needed the time to rest after I did the TT with her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's important.
yeah, and if she asked if I could keep in touch, so I'm asking
Oh,
you
good.
to, if that's okay.
Of course. That's great.
Yeah, I would like to work with her
Yeah.
because she needs very gentle treatments. And she
Yes.
has a lot of tender loving care, and I like to do tender loving care.
You're good at it. Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you all for allowing me to play and do these exercises with you. I really appreciate it. So thank you. I will try to remember to upload the recording. Tomorrow is a crazy day, but I'll try to get it done. And I'll send you the link to the recording. And I'll also send you the handout that Leonie prepared from the Congress,
Thank you, Sue.
which included this poem by Jack Cornfield that
Mm.
I read last month, but I'm going to read it again today. To close, if you can sit quietly after difficult news, if in financial downturns you remain perfectly calm, if you can see your neighbors travel to fantastic places without a twinge of jealousy, if you can happily eat whatever is put on your plate and fall asleep after a day of running around without a drink or a pill, if you can always find contentment wherever you are probably a dog.
I love it. I love it.
And with that, good night all.
Good night. Thank you, Sue.
Good night.
Night.